Hey there, nation, and welcome to the show where we help you to play miniatures wargaming on a budget. It is I, Commander Cheapskate, and we are back on an episode of Tales from the Tackle Zone Season 2. And this is Battle Report number 30. This is the very last game, game number 15 of the New World Conference, and the very last game of normal campaign play before we go on to the Championship Series. Now, this game is fought between my friends Senior Chang as well as my little sister, the Kiddo. The Kiddo is bringing the Skavenblight Scramblers of the Skaven, while my friend Senior Chang is bringing the Lizardmen of the Gwaka'Moli Crater Gators of the Lizardmen. So as you can see, it's a fully packed stadium on both sides, with Lizardmen rooting for the Gwaka'Moli Crater Gators and Undead rooting for the Skaven, just because my studio does not have any Skaven miniatures really, so that's the reason why. So yeah, the Skaven don't really have a home team. They just kind of like go from place to place, and people just root for them, I guess. Anyways, like I said before, this is the very last game of the New World Conference, game number 15. So because of that, whoever wins this game, of course, will determine in the end who will be playing in the New World Conference. Both the champions of the Old World Conference and of the New World Conference will face off against each other in the Blood Bowl to determine once and for all who is the supreme ruler of our campaign. So that being said, we're going to play some background music real quick. As the music is playing, we'll show you videos of both teams as well as their rosters. If you want to see exactly what both of my friends are bringing, go ahead and pause and take a look at your leisure. So that being said, let's get this battle report on a roll. So now we're back for the first half of the game. For the kickoff, my friend Senior Chang won the coin toss, so he elected to receive the ball for the first half, while the kid will be playing defensively on this one. So let's talk about their inducements real quick. So for team number, for the Gwaka'Moli Crater Gators, they do have a fan factor of 5 on this one. They have 2 skinks who are in the reserve box, and they also have 3 rerolls on this one. As for my little sister, the Kiddo, she has no team members in her reserve box, but she's got a fan factor of 6, and she also has 3 rerolls as well. So when the kickoff occurred, the ball did land over here in this square, and when the kickoff event took place, the Kiddo rolled a 12, which was storm the field. That's where the entire field gets stormed by people, and both my friends have to roll off to see which of them has the higher roll when combining their fan factors. The Kiddo actually won, getting perfect 12 on that one. My friend Senior Chang got an 8. So because that D3 players from the Gwaka'Moli Gators get stunned, all 3 of them did. So you can see we have this skink player over here who's stunned, this chameleon skink over here, as well as this Saurus player stunned as well. So not a great start for the Gwaka'Moli Crater Gators, but with that being said, we go directly to the top of turn number 1 from our friend Senior Chang, and we right back after his activations. So that takes directly to the top of turn number 1 for my friend Senior Chang, as well as his Lizardmen, the Gwaka'Moli Crater Gators. And as you can see, some dramatic things have taken place on the pitch. So let's talk about that. So real quick, the players who were actually stunned earlier have now rolled over, so they'll be able to get back up on their next turn. At the same time, my friend Senior Chang just destroyed the actual front ranks of the line of scrimmage over here. As you can see, they totally dominated. Managed to push a couple players back, as well as knock out a couple, but the big play was Big Gordita. So these Saurus blockers managed to push these Skaven out of the way, which gave them a line of approach to go directly into Scalpific, the Red Ogre. So Big Gordita blitzes forward, going right directly into him, gets him on a stumble result, and cracks through his armor and gives him a lasting injury. So because of that, Scalpific is now out for the count for the rest of the game. He will miss out his next game as well. And he does suffer a broken arm, but it doesn't really matter though, because Scalpific doesn't have a passing score, so he's perfectly fine, but he will miss out the rest of this game as well as his next one, as he's currently in recovery. So a huge loss right off the bat for my little sister, the Kiddo, with her Skavenblight Scramblers. Meanwhile, she also moves up one of her skinks directly to the backfield over here, marks a couple of blitzers at exactly the same time, and at the same time, he also moves down Doritos Locos, I believe is the name of the skink, going directly down over here in order to pick up the ball for his next turn. And that pretty much makes up my friend, God, my names, friends are mixed up on this one. That makes up the turn for my friend, Senior Chang. So that being said, we go directly to bottom number 1 for the Kiddo. We'll be right back after this. So that takes us to the bottom of turn number 1 for my little sister, the kiddo, and her turn was pretty much short-lived, and the reason why is because she got a player down result. So let's see what ended up happening. So first of all, she peels off with her gutter runner and her thrower from Big Gordita, managed to pass her agility test, and scoot down directly this wide zone to run interference in case anybody starts going to this direction. At the same time, she had one of her linemen do a blitz action directly to the skink, managed to put a power result on him. And at the same time, she did try to do an assisted offensive tackle over here with this blitzer, but eventually ended up with a player down result. She decided not to expend one of her rerolls because it was too early into the first half, so our player goes crashing down, causing immediate turnover. So with that being said, we go directly to the top of turn number 2 for my friend, Senior Chang. So that takes us right to the top of turn number 2 for my friend Senior Chang and the Gwaka'Moli Crater Gators. And as you can see on the pitch, a lot of dramatic things is happening. He's just basically manhandling the Skaven, is tearing through their lines. As you see, he does a blitz action directly on this gutter runner, managed to put a stun result on him as well. Managed to push through the line of scrimmage some more, going directly to the center and cracking a hole open right in the middle of the center lines over here. Big Gordita, of course, pushing players over here, while the Source Captain up here in the top, as well as blockers pushing guys up here as well. So because of that, that kind of leaves this whole wide opening directly to the center of the channel. So because of that, my friend Senior Chang sends one of his skinks, goes running right through it, ends up right next to Big Gordita, and Doritos Locos managed to pick up the ball and also move it forward as well, going directly towards the center, falling through that skink. Looks like that, giving himself some passing options for the most part. And that pretty much makes up the turn for my friend, Senior Chang. So with the turn number 2 over with, we go directly to the bottom of the turn for my little sister, the kiddo. So that takes a look at the bottom of turn number 2 for my little sister, the kiddo. And as you can see, some kind of impressive things have ended up happening. So first of all, she was able to knock over this skink over here, so that way no one can handle the ball, and pull a blitz over here at this skink, knocking them over as well, so that no one can handle the ball. And because of that, we now have some more positionals in position over here. That's going to make it very difficult for the skink, this chameleon skink anyways, to slip right through without being marked some kind of player at that point. Unfortunately for her, though, she did try to escape with Plague Will the Infected, her team captain. She failed her agility test, didn't burn up a reroll because she thought it was too early into the turn, so he goes crashing down the player down result, and that pretty much caused immediate turnover on that one. So that being said, we go directly to the top of turn number 3 from our friend Senior Chang. So that takes us to the bottom of top of turn number 3 from our friend Senior Chang, and once again, a lot of action has taken place over here on the pitch. Once again, just storming throughout the entirety of the line of scrimmage, smashing into guys, pulling off blitzes, all kinds of craziness. What ended up happening though is that player number 4, Quesadilla, did a blitz directly into player number 7, Buanik of Putrid Stump, managed to penetrate his armor and put a casualty result on him, putting a badly hurt result. So because he will not be able to participate in the rest of this battle report, but he'll make a full recovery by the end of the game. So just like that, my little sister, the kiddo, is down 2 players. Meanwhile, some skinks managed to stand up, escape out of the tackle zones, and make it directly over here to the end zone. And what happened is that Doritos Locos also moved all the way through the line, threw a ball directly towards this little skink. I believe that skink's name is Soft Taco, I believe. Managed to catch that ball, so Soft Taco's now in position of the ball, just one space away from making it directly to the end zone. And things are not looking very good right now for my little sister, the kiddo. So that being said, we go directly to the bottom of turn number 3 for the Skavenblight Scramblers. So that takes directly to the bottom of turn number 3 for my little sister, the kiddo, and it's actually a pretty short turn. She does manage to stab a bunch of her players who were knocked down previously, but this lineman over here tried to escape from the wrath of this source, where trying to go directly in, try to pull a blitz directly onto the skink. Unfortunately, though, he failed his agility test to escape the tackle zone. So my little sister, the kiddo, burned up one of her reroll dice in order to make sure that she can reroll it again. Still failed it, actually rolled a worse result because of that, and she goes crumbling to the ground, which caused an immediate turnover. So that being said, we go directly to the top of turn number 4 from our friend King Khalifa. So that takes directly to the top of turn number 4 from our friend Senior Chang, as well as the Gwaka'Moli Crater Gators. And touchdown number 1 for the Gwaka'Moli Crater Gators. So let's talk what ended up happening. So first of all, my friend Senior Chang threw a couple of blocks at the player, tried to cause some more injuries if he possibly could. Just did some pretty simple ones against some linemen, but all he managed to do was knock people over. However, though, Cinnamite, player number 10, skink player number 10, goes one square over and manages to score the touchdown for his team. Also gets himself a star player point as well. And with that, we go directly to re-racking from our friends to re-rack their players, and we go directly to kickoff. So we'll be right back after this. So now we're back for kickoff real quick. As you can see, my friend Senior Chang has set up his team defensively, going for this kind of wide secondary line of defense against the Skaven, who are really agile and very good at passing. At the same time, my friend, little sister, the kiddo, decided to set up her team in a heavy flank formation over here. That she could try to break through the wide zone and make it directly to the end zone as well. Now when the ball would hit for the kickoff, is scattered over here is where the ball ended up being. And of course, what ended up happening was it was cheering fans with the kickoff results. So both of my friend and my little sister rolled off. My little sister, the kiddo, won this one, so she got friends with the ref, which means that she can make a bonus roll for arguing calls in case she makes a foul. So with that being said, we go directly to the bottom of turn number 4 for my little sister, the kiddo. We'll be right back after activations. So now we're back to the bottom of turn number 4 for my little sister, the kiddo, and as you can see on the pitch, some dramatic things have happened. First of all, she was able to knock this Saurus Warrior out of the way and put a stun result on him, as well as push down this Saurus Warrior, as well as a skink down over directly towards almost out of bounds. And what this did is it actually created a thoroughfare for the Gutter Runner Toxiad to actually slip through. So the Gutter Runner Toxiad moves his maximum allowance, going right directly through it, and his way directly to the end zone, followed closely by Plague Cruel, the Infected the Thrower. He managed to come and pick up the ball, move his maximum allowance, doesn't decide to pass or to rush just because the distance is too great at this point, and that pretty much makes up the kiddo's turn for this one. So that being said, we go directly to the top of turn number 5 for my friend, Senior Chang. So that takes a look at the bottom of turn number 5 for my friend, Senior Chang, and as you can see on the pitch, some dramatic things have occurred because he once again gained repossession of the ball. So let's talk about what ended up happening. So first of all, Beef Supreme does a Blitz action all the way from the center of the scrimmage line, all the way directed to Plague Roll, the Infected, gets a power resolve and pushes him down, which caused the ball to land right over here in this square right next to him. Now from there, of course, this Saurus blocker over here, I believe this guy's name is Chalupa, I believe his name is, throws a block directly in this blitzer and manages to push these guys out of the way, which allows this little skink over here, player number 10, Cinnabite, to slip in. He goes through, picks the ball, and rushes twice to get possession of the ball, so it puts him right over here. Now from there, my friend Senior Chain then took the rest of his skinks as well as some of his Saurus Warriors. They sweep around directly behind him to kind of create this cage around him to completely protect him from being attacked. At the same time, he also marks a couple players with his Crocodile Big Gordita as well as some more of his Saurus players as well. And that pretty much makes up the turn for this one. So that being said, we go directly at the bottom of turn number 5 for my little sister, the kiddo. So let's take the bottom of turn number 5 for the kiddo, and unfortunately for the kiddo, she did everything she could to try to tackle that little skink before he gets away, but unfortunately wasn't able to do so. As you can see, she actually skillfully managed to escape a lot of the tackle zone, showing you how deadly and agile Skaven really are. Sending this tidal wave of players directly to mark other players and provide assists and such. This player over here, I believe that's Plague Roll the Infected. Sorry, not Plague Roll the Infected. I forgot what name that character's Lineman. That's right. This Lineman tries to do a blitz action, slipping in through over here to try to hit Cinnabon, but unfortunately got a push result. My little sister did try to use a reroll in order to do that, got a second push result instead. So all she did was just push that little skink forward. Now the skink does have to take a agility test to get out of that tackle zone, but still though, doesn't look very good right now for my little sister, the kiddo. So that being said, we go directly to the top of turn number 6 for my friend, Senior Chang. We'll be right back after his activations. So that takes directly to the top of turn number 6 from our friend Senior Chang, and touchdown number 2. Cinnabite, skink number 10, decided to run the ball directly across the backfield into the end zone and score a second touchdown for the Gwaka'Moli Crater Gators. So just like that, my friend Senior Chang is now still in the lead with 2-0 right now against the kiddo. So with that being said, my friends are going to re-rack their players real quick. I'll be right back for kickoff. So we're now back for the kickoff. Once again, my friend Senior Chang has once again taken up his kind of like a secondary line of defense type of formation he did before because it worked out so well for him. And the little kid, my little sister, the kiddo, did exactly the same thing with her team going for a heavy flank because the best way for her to try to score a touchdown as best she can. Now the ball did scatter over here right next to the Plague Roll, the Infected. However, though, when it came to the kickoff event, it was open snaps. So because of that, D3 plus 3 open players in the receiving team can move 1 square. So my little sister had 2 of her linemen cross the line of scrimmage, had her gun runner move up 1 as well because she rolled a 4 on that, and then had Plague Roll the Infected roll 1 more box towards the ball as well. So that being said, we go directly to the bottom, turn number 6 for my little sister, and we'll be right back after her activations. So that's exactly the bottom of turn number 6 for my little sister, the kiddo, and once again, she managed to get the ball actually all the way through almost. So first of all, once again, she concentrated her fighters directly over here in this corner piece, managed to push back a couple of Saurus blockers as well as a couple of skinks, marking a couple of them, making this gap in the line for her gun runner Toxiad to slip through. What ended up happening is that Plague Roll the Infected moved up, picked up the ball, moved up his maximum allowance, handed the ball over to Toxiad, also gave himself an additional star player point, and Toxiad wove through, managed to dodge the tackle zones, and actually go forward 2 squares with rushing to make it directly to this spot here, only 3 squares away from actually reaching the end zone. Now the interesting thing is, of course, my little sister had to use one of her rerolls in order to make that rush over there because she failed one of her rush rolls. But since we're so close to the end of the half anyways, it's pretty much the time to use up your re-rolls. And that pretty much makes it my little sister's turn on this one. So with that being said, we go directly to the top of turn number 7 for my friend Senior Chang. So that takes me to the top of turn number 7 for my friend Senior Chang, and once again, he gets in possession of the ball. So let's talk what ended up happening. So first of all, this player over here, player number 2, I think this guy's name is Quesarito is his name, managed to throw a blitz directly into Toxiad and managed to crack through his armor and also, crack through his armor and also managed to cause a casualty on him as well. So because it puts a seriously hurt on him, so because he will miss out his next game, he will not be able to participate into his next game as well, so he's currently out. Now the ball did scatter. It scattered directly over one square outside and directly into the out of bounds. So because of that, when the ball scattered, it was actually thrown back over here towards the midsection of the field. Now from there, my friend Senior Chang then sent in Gordito, did a block directly on another lineman, managed to crack through his armor and also put him out of action too, with a seriously hurt, so because he will miss his next game and suffer a niggling injury as well. So he is definitely out of the box. My little sister, the kiddo, is actually down 4 players, which is really bad for her. Now from there, she then swarms forward with her Skinks as well as her Saurus Warriors, giving herself multiple options in order to grab it. And then Doritos Locos, the little community skink back over here, he managed to go back to the ball, rushed forward his maximum ounce, and goes forward 2 squares. So that's why he closed the distance with these Skinks. And that pretty much makes it my friend Senior Chang's turn. So that being said, we go directly to the bottom of turn number 7 for my little sister, the kiddo. So there we go, directly to the bottom of turn number 7 for my little sister, the kiddo, and she does a suicide play. So first of all, she moves up her blitzer, managed to do a blitz action block action direct to this source where pushing him down. What this does is create this wedge of opening right over in the line of scrimmage. So from there, this lineman over here does a blitz action, skirting around the outside and going directly into Doritos Locos and managing to hit him as well with the blitz action. Now, originally she got stumble, which this little Doritos Loco could have basically just ignored because he has dodge, or both player down. So the kid decided to go with both player down, knocking both the players over and scaring the ball over here. Now this does cause a turnover for my friend, for my little sister, the kiddo, but she figured it was worth it in order to stop the Lizardmen from scoring another touchdown. So that being said, we go directly to the top of turn number 8 for my friend Senior Chang. So that takes directly to the bottom of turn number 8 for my friend Senior Chang, and touchdown number 3 for my friend Senior Chang. So let's talk about what ended up happening. So first of all, my friend decides to use Beef Supreme to throw a block directly into Plague Roll the Infected, the thrower, to stop him from actually pulling any blitz actions directly over here in case he doesn't make it to the end zone. Now when he does do that, he does manage to crack Plague Roll the Infected's armor, but puts a casualty on him, and Plague Roll the Infected ends up being dead. So just like that, my little sister's thrower has now been eliminated off the roster. So that part was pretty disastrous. Now, meanwhile, probably the most important play took place with this guy over here, Quesarito. Quesarito did a blitz action all the way from the back end and managed to smash directly into this blitzer over here, pushing them back, causing a chain push that pushed all these guys in the upper direction. What that did is that it freed up this little guy over here, Crunchwrap. Crunchwrap, the little guy, actually goes around, picks up the ball, rushes for his maximum allowance, and throws the ball directly to another Skink. Skink player number 9 manages to catch that no problem and runs it directly to the end zone, scoring a 3rd touchdown for my friend Senior Chang. Now, unfortunately for the kiddo, when she lost her thrower, Plague Roll the Infected, she felt that she took enough damage for this one, so she decides to concede the game at this point. Now, granted, she will lose her winnings, and that will be forfeited directly to my friend Senior Chang, but she wasn't losing more players than she already has, which brings a direct end to the game with a win for the Lizardmen with 3-0 for the Gwaka'Moli Crater Gators. So that being said, we're going to go directly to the after action report because this game is now officially over.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Alright, now it's time for the after action report. This is the part about where we talk about what went well, what went poorly, and what we can learn for the next time that we do battle. This is the after action report for Tales from the Tackle Zone Season 2, Battle Report number 30. This was game number 15 in the New World Conference, which was the very last game of the normal campaign season before the championship round. And let's go ahead and talk about what ended up happening. So my little sister, the kiddo, managed to lose this game for the Skavenblight Scramblers. For injury, thrower number 1, Plague Roll the Infected, was killed, so he's eliminated off the roster. Lineman number 6, More Shock the Insane, suffered a serious injury, so because he will miss his next game, as well as suffering a niggling injury. But since it's the last game of the campaign for this team, it's not really a big deal. Same thing with lineman number 7, Bubonique of Putrid Stump was badly hurt, makes a full recovery. Gunner number 12, Toxad, was seriously hurt and would normally miss the next game, but like I said before, it's the final game of the campaign, so no harm, no foul. The same thing applies to Ret Ogre number X, Scalpathic, who had a lasting injury, which oddly enough was supposed to be a broken arm injury, but since it doesn't have a passing score, it doesn't really matter. Now, for advancements, not a single member of this team did advance during this game, and unfortunately for my little sister, she did lose 1 point from her fan base from conceding the game, giving her a grand total of 2 dedicated fans in total. Now, she originally won 30,000 gold pieces, but she had to forfeit it to the Gwaka'Moli Crater Gators for conceding the game. Because of that, she didn't recruit anybody or purchase any inducements at this time, but she did manage to score a single league point for scoring 0 touchdowns this game, and that increased her league points to 11. Her new record now is at 2 wins and 3 losses, and her team value is at 1,100 points. So moving on to the winners of this one, which is the Gwaka'Moli Crater Gators from my friend Senior Chang. He suffered no injuries at this time, and 3 members of his team leveled up. Sora's player number 4, Quesadilla, chose the block skill, increasing their gold value by 20,000 gold pieces. Skiing player number 9, Nacho, chose the sure feet skill and increased their score by 20,000 gold pieces. And Croxagore player number X, Big Gordita, chose the brawler skill and increased their gold value by 20,000 gold pieces. My friend Senior Chang did manage to increase his dedicated fan base by 1, giving 4 dedicated fans in total. From his winnings, he managed to score 60,000 gold pieces from the game, 30,000 gold pieces from the Skavenblight Scramblers for conceding the game, and combined with the 10,000 gold pieces he had in his treasury, gave him 100,000 gold pieces in total. With those 100,000 gold pieces, he actually hired an apothecary for his team, so that way he can actually have rerolls for knockouts as well as for casualties, and at the same time spent another 50,000 gold pieces to buy a Bloodweiser keg to give him +1 to knockout players to get back onto the pitch again as well. Now for his league points, he earns 3 league points for winning the game, as well as another league point for scoring 3 or more touchdowns, and another league point for causing 3 or more casualties, giving him a grand total of 15 league points in total. His new record now is at 3 wins and 2 losses, and his new team value now is at 1,520 points. So there you guys have it. This is the very last game of the normal campaign season for all 12 of our teams. They have all fought in their conferences in round robin format, and now that the regular season's over with, it's time for us to go to the championship series, where we talk about the championship game for the Old World Conference, the championship game for the New World Conference, and most importantly, once those 2 games are resolved, who will be going to the Blood Bowl. That's good to do for this, you guys. As always, please feel free to like, comment, and or subscribe. Your guys' input is invaluable to us as always. Also, check us out on Facebook, Instagram, as well as blogger.com for all the latest greatest hobby news related to this channel. That's good for this one, you guys. We'll catch you guys next one. Peace out and stay classy.